Applejack is one of the hardest workers of the main six. However, there are some instances where she has worked herself into exhaustion. So is it possible that Applejack is a workaholic? In this video, I will present scientific research on workaholism and analyze Applejack's behavior to see if there's enough evidence from the show to support this conclusion. I understand that being called a workaholic has been used as a positive character trait, as a means to describe someone who is a hard worker with a strong, healthy work ethic. Work is a gratifying endeavor that is essential to our overall well-being. However, when I'm using the term workaholic, I am referring to an addiction to work. Workaholism has been described as feeling compelled to work because of internal pressures and having persistent thoughts about work even when not working. And another important factor includes working beyond what is reasonably expected from the requirements of the job, and way beyond meeting one's economic needs. The American Psychiatric Association has concluded that workaholism, nor a work addiction, is currently diagnosable, and I found some published studies that revealed that achievement-oriented type A personalities with perfectionistic qualities are some of the most vulnerable to a work addiction. And Applejack is one of the most achievement-oriented ponies of the show, and her people-pleasing tendencies have compelled her to overwork herself on a few occasions. And in Applejack's day off, she strictly adhered to the chore list, behaving like a perfectionist at the expense of work efficiency. Okay, just be clear, just because someone has a strong type A personality that is extremely achievement-oriented does not necessarily make them a workaholic, nor someone who works multiple jobs just to scrape by with food on the table and a roof over their heads. If Applejack is a workaholic, there would be some very serious consequences that would affect her personal life. Job stress would be a constant in her life, and her job satisfaction would be plummeting, and yet, she would always think about being at work, especially when she's supposed to be relaxing. She would be plagued with work-life conflicts, and she would be emotionally absent from her friends' and family's lives. This is because the lion's share of her emotional energy would be channeled into her work at the expense of those close to her. Wait, does that even sound like Applejack? Or any of the ponies of the show? No, it doesn't, and there's a reason for that. The truth is, you can't be a workaholic if you are able to balance your work life and have healthy personal relationships with your family and your friends. I think we can all agree that Applejack is a dependable friend and does an exceptional job prioritizing quality time with her younger sister, Applebloom.
But don't worry, I'll always be here for you. Always.
Okay, maybe too much quality time and attention. And speaking of being present in her friends' lives, of all the ponies of the main six, she has had at least one appearance as the focus of a shot in 81.9% of the total 179 episodes, after 8.5 seasons. This means that she's in second place for the most episode appearances of the main six, of course behind Twilight. With such availability for her friends, it appears that her behavior seems to be the opposite of a workaholic. If Applejack is not a workaholic, then why are there so many people that think she is one? Well, psychologists and psychiatrists and other mental health professionals are still trying to better understand this condition. And to make matters worse, our society has a lot of misunderstandings of what workaholism is, and there's even more confusion on what it isn't. For instance, one of the biggest false assumptions is that working long hours within itself is evidence of workaholism. But as we all know, Applejack is a farmer. A survey from 2013 published by Farm Journal Pulse found that 75% of farmers reported spending 10 hours or more a day doing farm work. So long hours in her profession is not unreasonable. Because of this, time management is a very crucial skill. So how do you differentiate between a good work ethic and a work addiction? Both can work long hours. The one with a good work ethic does their job because they love what they do, or they're trying to make ends meet. The other chooses to work long hours needlessly in order to exercise power and control in their work life, fueled by fear, shame, and guilt. Someone with a healthy work engagement is happy and excited when they come home. However, those who suffer from workaholism begin to feel negative emotions after they leave work, and those irritations subside when they go back to job-related activities. And I would even go as far to say that those who are workaholics can learn a lot from Applejack and how to live a balanced life with an impeccable work ethic. Applejack often takes time off of work and has done lengthy vacations without any visible signs of guilt or shame after leaving her farm. And she reminds me that those who work their lands will have an abundance of food, but those who chase fantasies make no sense. And don't get me wrong, Applejack is far from perfect. She can be very rigid in her thinking, making it really hard for her to consider alternative ways of doing her job. Her stubbornness can be an endearing trait.
I'm gonna get every last apple out of those trees all by myself.
But it gets her into a lot of trouble, and her inflexible nature always... Okay, you get the point. She ain't flawless, not by a long shot to the moon. Remember, workaholism is about the unjustified motivations on why an individual works long hours, along with their inability to prioritize maintaining healthy relationships with their friends and family. I hope you were able to glean some information concerning mental health, especially pertaining to workaholism. So let me know what you think about Applejack's work ethic or time management skills as a farmer in the comment sections below. And if you could do me a favor, subscribe and share this video with others to generate a positive, engaging discussion on mental health with your friends. I am the Hallelujah Brony, so I thank you for watching, God bless you, and get out there and be a blessing.